I happen to be a fan of a small series that's kind of niche. I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't heard of it. It's a series called Pokemon. Normally, they're a simpler RPG monster catching game that every few years gets a remake with a new name and skin to sell for $60, as the devs put less and less work into it. Or recently, remaking their first 4 versions of the game that they actually put care into. However, this series has recently expanded into the MOBA genre. Pokemon Unite is a somewhat competitive MOBA on mobile and Switch. It features all your favorite Pokemon such as Pikachu, Lucario, and the Queen of Please Step on Miss It's honestly a rather fun game most of the time, but like any game, there's ups and downs with it. I've been playing this game since day one on Switch, and it's still one of my favorite games. But with that being said, there's a lot I could say that needs improvements. Today I'm here to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Pokemon Unite. Something that's always important about a game is how many different ways there are to play to achieve your goal. I believe that this is an important piece in most genres, and I usually find myself praising games with multiple solutions to their puzzles. Unite is no different, as every different Pokemon have different strengths and weaknesses, each having their own personal goals to achieve in order to make their team succeed. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of all of them in alphabetical order to give you an idea on how all these play. Absol, a carry's worst nightmare and a playground bully, can end any squishy in 2-hit big crits. However, being CC'd pretty much leads to death instantly. Blastoise, a tank with multiple pushes and knockups, though his longer cooldowns can make missed or wasted abilities heavily punished. Blissey, a support who focuses on one key ally to ensure their survival during teamfights, and a deadly partner duo, but not so good with randoms. Charizard has 2 key playstyles, one melee, one range, and a powerful ultimate that shouldn't be scoffed at, but a lot less scary once it's used. Cinderace, a somewhat slippery rabbit that dishes out tons of damage from afar, but if he's caught with his dash down, he'll probably die. Cramorant, a flightless bird with a lackluster escape, but if they catch you in their trap, they're gonna chunk your health bar without a thought. Crustle, a living rock that doesn't know if it wants to be a defensive nuisance or a truck coming to run you over. Both builds rely on one ability, however. Decidueye, a very squishy owl who must be aware of everyone's positions in fights, but absolutely shreds health bars if you can stay safe in them. Dragonite, you're only leashing this dragon as both his ultimate and hyper beam are massive objective secure and damage with minor downsides. Eldegoss, the support who is focused on giving buffs to their team and debuffs to the other. Depends on their team to thrive, however. Garchomp, scary in the main games, but the devs hate him, so he's not that scary unless he's able to stick to you. With being easily prone to CC and a hard to use ultimate, they don't do this boy justice. Gardevoir, a late game control mage who if left unchecked can deal absolutely tons of damage from afar. But she does rely on her stun if she's alone. Gengar, a spooky ghost who can dish out scary amounts of pain, that is until he misses one ability, and then it's the ghost who should be running. Greedent, a hungry boy whose job is to annoy the hell out of the enemy and actually has decent objective pressure. Requires lots of berries to keep up the trouble though. Greninja, a ninja whose goal is to deal lots of damage, heal up, and cause the enemy's controls to literally attack the wrong thing. Squishy though if caught without his clones or invisibility. Lucario, this used to be Villaina Unite can still deal a good amount of damage, and as long as they're able to keep track of how they came into the fight, they usually have a getaway as well. Machamp, if you ever want the thought of you approaching putting fear into the enemy's hearts, Machamp is the mon to do so, as a good amount of his kit gives unstoppable, so stuns don't work as he charges them down. Mamoswine, the big boar of interrupts. This large fellow has an affinity for slowing and freezing his opponents, but has to keep dealing damage in order to keep his own defenses high. Mr. Mime, with shoves and stuns, this Mime is definitely a major thorn on the battlefield, though he's not the tankiest, so large damage dealers are his own thorn. Ninetales, another control mage type, keeping others away and chunking them when doing so, though as the game goes on, this fox does get outscaled and outdone, with lackluster escape options. Pikachu. This lesser known Pokemon keeps getting buffed for some reason, so you can ultimate every 30 seconds now. With hard hitting AoEs, not having a getaway is the only downside to this rat. Slowbro. If you've ever just wanted to make one person hate their life for 10 minutes, this goofball has no remorse in doing so, and has the only ability in the game currently that can go through unstoppable. Snorlax. Stand behind this guy. If other Pokemon have objective secure, Snorlax has objective denial, as he can block and push others away to be a literal wall for his team. Sylveon. This fairy dog can hop around and bring down the doom, or scream until the other team dies. Each type of play having strengths and weaknesses, but both are fun. Talonflame. While this assassin is super squishy, they do tons of damage, and have ways to get out of most trouble anyways, as well as their indicators being smaller than the actual hit it seems. Serena. This season's new antagonist. Her only weakness is heavy lockdown. Otherwise, she's gonna stomp out anyone in her way while healing with every spin of her legs. You go, queen. Venusaur. This plant has two different playstyles to fit your needs, each having their own ups and downs, but both are good at what they do, at making him a solid pick. Wigglytuff. A simple support whose job is to make sure everyone falls asleep on the enemy team and then smack them awake. Their ultimate also cleanses CC off nearby allies. Zeraoura. An assassin cat who in the right situation can kill every squishy on a team with two abilities, while having a mix-up movement option on either choice of they are choosing. Better stun this one. You may have noticed, for a few of these, you have no idea who they are, or really don't care about them at all. And in my opinion, that's amazing, that even the niche Pokemon can get into this game. I didn't know who Green was before Unite, but I'm in love with this squirrel, even after his major nerfs. He's my go-to if the team is lacking some defensive options. This means that even if your favorite Pokemon isn't that popular, there's still a chance for them to get in. I myself am hoping for a Mew support, which I know isn't exactly niche, but it's definitely possible. And I think that's the amazing part. Pokemon Unite is not a hard game to play compared to other MOBAs, making it a good place to start for people who may want to get into the genre. There are ups and downs with the idea of a simple MOBA, but in my opinion, it fits better for this game overall. Unlike any other MOBA I've played before this, Unite isn't about destroying towers and earning gold in the traditional sense. You're dunking points into the other team's goals and destroying them until you reach the middle goal, which you cannot destroy this final goal, meaning there's technically infinite scoring. This is due to the game lasting 10 minutes total, which I only see as a good thing. No need to struggle through 30 plus minutes just to lose. The game is decided at the 10-minute mark, and you can move on right after. The characters only have 3 abilities at a time as well, plus a battle item, so it's not hard to manage any one dig. And even the characters that do require some practice, they make sense rather quickly. It's just about execution at that point when it comes with game experience. There does mean there are some downsides, such as no wards or things like so, but overall, once you play enough, you get a feel where people should be and should be going, since there's no lane minions, and it's all technically contestable farm. Another thing that's unique about it is you don't have to get used to one side of the map versus the other. Every match spawns you from left to right, so it's not confusing on that front either. The game itself is built to be simple, and because of that, it actually all kind of works well together in a surprising fashion. Pokemon Unite is a free-to-play game, which means it's not hard to get access to playing it. I mean, you guys all have phones, right? Jokes aside, it's not too hard to play even if you want to BlueStacks it. Both platforms have their advantages between Switch and mobile, but either works, really. Unlike all the trouble that was caused earlier in this game's lifespan, this game is not pay to win. They give so many upgrade tokens and tickets that baby stats that items give aren't really a concern at all. I've been playing this game since launch, and the effects are way more important than the stats emphasized by the people who wailed and played this game for a single week. There's also 3 rotating quick play game modes, 4 at the moment due to the winter event. They're 5-minute game modes that change up the map and how you play in some sort of way, so you don't even have to learn the main map if you never want to. This game is genuinely a fun experience, and I play it just about daily, as well as with one of my closest friends, Zone. There's sometimes frustrating moments, but it's not like the 7 years of suffering I did with League of Legends. I'll happily play this game till the end of its lifetime. But that being said, this game is not without flaws, and this video's intent isn't just to promote the game, but to analyze both good and bad. So now that I've covered 3 major good points, it's time to move on to 3 major flaws. There's no kind way to say it, so I'm just gonna be straight honest. The patch notes in this game are utter garbage. Sure, they've gotten better since the beginning, but still, some things are just marked as bug fixes. This is especially bad because they've hid things in the quote-unquote bug fixes, without having to admit things that they've done purposely. Example being, there was a debuff to getting Dreadnought for 30 seconds that would half your damage on Zapdos. It was super consistent and a completely hidden debuff. A comeback mechanic not mentioned in the game whatsoever. When the community figured it out and called it out, there was a patch later that fixed it. It wasn't mentioned whatsoever, just the normal bug fixes that was listed at the bottom. This still happens, and I ended up making a Reddit post about the devs hiding behind those 2 fateful words. Of course I brought up the Dreadnought debuff being gone, and found some people weren't aware that it was gone, and were accidentally trolling ranked for weeks. This kind of hidden stuff still exists in the game, bugs that definitely look like features. Nowadays it's a lot less though, but if you think that's all that's wrong with patches and how they're handled, I wish that were true. Let's say there's a game-breaking bug, such as a high damage dealing Pokemon bugging out and gaining immunity to all damage for the entirety of the match. Other MOBAs would disable the character if a game-breaking bug like this appears. This is not the case with Pokemon Unite. Instead, they kindly ask that you don't do it. I wish I was joking. This tweet looks like a meme that I would make. I can't make sense of this tweet. I know it takes time to fix things, but this still is bad. Then again, I guess when most patches say stat adjusted without giving any numbers, this shouldn't surprise me that much. Remember at the start of the video when I said the words somewhat competitive when describing the game? The amount of heavy comeback mechanics is the reason. While I'm fine with small things such as shutdowns, Unite goes above and beyond making every game winnable/losable. The beginning of all these issues tend to stem from the last 2 minutes of the game. This is for 2 reasons. The first being that every score made in the last 2 minutes is doubled for no reason, and the second is Zapdos, which gives every team member 15 points and makes all of the enemy's goals instant dunking for the time. Meaning if a team is getting stomped and snipes this objective, that's a potential 500 points for a single mistake, when it's hard to get 500 points in before that point of the game. And you'd think that the team getting stomped would have a slim chance to do that, but no, that's not the case at all. I won't even get into the comeback experience for killing someone higher level than you, because I'd rather focus on the death timer. If you are on a death streak, you have a lower respawn timer, allowing you to rejoin the fight faster. However, let's flip it and say you're on a major kill streak. You may be out of the game for literally a minute. That's an entire tenth of the game. If you make one slip up at the end of the game, you may never be alive for the time it takes the other team to do a winning objective. Let's move along a little, focus on the early game. If you win the early game too hard, it might actually end up backfiring. Allow me to run you through the situation using the game's map. We'll focus on this part of the map specifically. The yellow numbers will be the farmable creeps, and this area that I'm going to tint blue, this will be the area that you cannot lose pressure of due to the jump pad. you'll always have your inner jungle within your pressure due to the jump pad alone. Let's start this example by saying the enemy team takes Rotom, who will allow insta-dunking if he hits your goal. He walks down the top lane towards your goal, and due to this, you lose it. In most other MOBAs, this would purely be bad. In Unite, however, that's not the case. With the first goal gone, these 2 bits of farm disappear. However, these 4 other spawns appear. Note that your side has lost 2 spawns worth 5 and gained 3 spawns worth 5 and 1 extra 3, giving your team an easier and safer farm. Not only that, let's say the enemy team gets the next Rotom as well. Now Rotom has to travel much further, giving your team a longer time to react to seeing the Rotom moving, as you can see on the minimap at all times, even without vision. So, giving up your top goal without trading anything, your team gains safer XP gain, longer times to react to Rotom, and now an easier to defend goal. Losing early has never seemed so nice. This is why every game is losable. When the anime comeback can happen every game though, it tends to lose its magic really fast. These also aren't all end-all be-all situations. Sometimes the things I brought up won't matter at all. It just aggravates me that it can all be all of those at once. Ranked game mode should show skill. I think that's something we can all agree on. This is not the case with Unite. It's pretty much a second standard mode but with shiny sparkles that stimulate your eyes. I say this for many reasons. First, being that 5 people in Discord can go against 5 randoms who can't communicate well. This of course leads to the group of randoms being torn apart because a well-coordinated team should win. There's no separations of these queues, meaning people can 5-stack all the way from the beginning to the end. Ironically, all those comeback mechanics I mentioned earlier don't really matter against groups of 5 because they know exactly when to take objectives and take fights in their favor, making the match entirely unfair. Then again, rank doesn't matter, so what's losing a few games to 5 stacks in the long run? Climbing has a lot of comeback mechanics as well. If you lose too many in a row, it'll put you in a bots game for a free win. This will ensure you don't drop too much. Not only that, when you go up a rank, you start with 1 diamond in that rank. You need 2 games at that point to drop a rank. And it's 1 game per diamond. That is, unless you have enough progress points to prevent it. You are given points after every game that enable you to either gain an extra diamond for 3 times the points it takes to prevent a diamond loss. Meaning, if you never gain an extra diamond, it means you prevented 3 diamond losses. All of this ties together means that you can reach the highest rank with a 45% win rate. Even with this game having so many comeback mechanics, it's a bit hard to at least not have 50%. Oh yeah, you also can't derank once you reach the highest rank. So yes, with higher skill you can climb faster, but overall, your allies are going to be a large range of good and bad, more than in most other MOBAs. My honest advice is just to try a little harder in ranked, but don't stress if you lose. A fun fact about Pokemon Unite is that a lot of people seem to dislike me for a very interesting reason. It's because if I go to my Pokemon list and scroll over to Lucario, this animation plays out. This is a premium skin, comes with move effects, recall effects, scoring, and KO effects. It's overall a neat skin. You shoot a giant pumpkin with your ultimate ability. The issue comes when you realize that this skin is $40 USD. I want to say that this directly is not a bad thing. No one at Pokemon Unite is holding you at gunpoint forcing you to buy the Lucario skin or any other $40 skin. You don't need to spend a dime on this game. The reason this is unfortunate, however, is that the skins are not worth $40. It's just some Pokemon and clothing with neat effects, and I don't think that's going to change, sadly. Games like League of Legends have skins that change what the champion looks like entirely. Same with Smite. I don't really believe that Pokemon is going to allow such to happen, though. And even if they did, it would go onto Pikachu only, because they don't care for keeping skins even at all. It took my buddy Cramorant 5 months to get a single skin despite being an on-release Pokemon. And the same day, Pikachu got a premium skin, making 7 total for Pikachu. I have some low hopes for my favorite Hooter. Battle passes are a common thing in games nowadays. All way too common. And honestly, I don't mind them. They're a neat little thing that gives you achievements to do points that unlock some neat stuff. But can we please stop encouraging trolling in ranked? I don't mind most missions, even if they're kinda stupid. Such as use our bad communication system 20 times, or use the jump pad 30 times. However, encouraging certain things specifically in ranked is annoying to see. An example as such as get 10 Rotoms even though the other objective is far more important, thus meaning teammates aren't going to work with you because they need to do this quest. The per level rewards of the Battle Pass are lackluster. Not bad exactly, but some coins would be nice to buy different Pokemon I want. Especially since there's a coin limit per week. It's understandable because it's a free-to-play game, and I accept you want some people to spend money to unlock a Pokemon or two. But what's 50 extra coins a week to the 10,000 that some Pokemon are? Again, there's no issue to having a Battle Pass. They never had to have one to begin with. It just could be better, and honestly the disappearance of daily missions is amazing already. The only daily they do now is to log in, and it's 10 points to the 1,000 the weekly quests give in total, so you don't have to play daily anymore to complete the newest pass. That's been an amazing change, and I hope to see more. In conclusion, Pokemon Unite is a mobile game at the end of the day, and due to that, it's going to be held back by certain things. But it's a free-to-play game that doesn't hold anything gameplay-wise behind a paywall, or pulls like other games may. In the long run, I would actually recommend giving it a shot if you have the chance to. Most of the gameplay in this video is my own clips, and I play daily, so I wouldn't mind hooking up with some people looking to play if you're looking to get into this. And if you're interested in watching full gameplay, Flash and I have plans on putting some up on his channel soon. With that, I rule Pokemon Unite as a flawed but enjoyable game. Until next time, stay cringe, stay little, and stay bean. If you like this video, subscribe for more. If you want more gameplay-based orientated videos, head over to my buddy Flash's channel, where most of our gameplay videos are.